Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So you'll have noticed by the title of this video that I'm going to be talking about Tom Felton and his personal struggles with his mental health after the end of Harry Potter. Now guys, when I came across the piece, it actually made me realise just how much the franchise meant to him. Like, Tom was just as big a fan as we all are, so to be on set and to play such an important role like Draco Malfoy, it truly meant the world to him. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the times Tom had on set and the struggles he faced after it, because at the end of the day guys, what is made to appear real on screen for us is still real people with real feelings, and Tom's story really hit me hard when I read it. So let's just take a look at everything surrounding Tom during and after his time on Harry Potter. Now, Tom appeared in all 8 Harry Potter movies as Harry's rival Draco, and surprisingly, despite his fame, had extremely little screen time in the movies. However, the time he did have on screen, he made count really well, as they were incredibly good scenes. Tom mentions that he and co-star Emma Watson didn't exactly get off to a good start, as he didn't really take her seriously, going on to say that he thought he was cooler than her, Daniel and Rupert, due to the fact that he was a little bit older. There was one day in particular when Emma wanted to present a little dance show she created and invited the cast and crew to watch. Tom said, "I suppose we thought we were a little bit cooler. We'd spend our free time together listening to rap music, Wu-Tang, Biggie, Tupac. So when word reached Josh and me that 9-year-old Emma had put together a little dance show in her dressing room that she wanted to present to us at lunchtime, we were predictably dismissive. We sniggered our way down to Emma's show, and the sniggers grew louder as she danced. We were just being shitty boys, largely out of awkwardness and because we thought taking the piss was cool. But Emma was visibly upset by our thoughtlessness reaction, and I did feel like a bit of a dick, and rightly so." Following a conversation with one of the women from the hair and makeup department, the actor said he apologised to Emma. "I did apologise, and Emma accepted my apology. Everybody moved on. It was just a stupid teenage act of thoughtlessness, the sort of thing that happens every day. So why does that moment stick in my memory? Why is it so painful for me to recall? The answer is, I think, is that I've grown to understand, with the passing of the years that all of us go through, Emma had the most to deal with, the most difficult situation to negotiate, and from the earliest age. I'm glad that our friendship did not founder on the rocks of my insensitivity, but became something deeper, a touchstone for both of our lives." It wasn't just times on set that Tom has hurtful memories from. The auditioning process after he finished Harry Potter definitely left its mark due to the role he played being such a typecast for him, something fellow co-star Daniel Radcliffe had to battle against as well. Tom said, "Auditioning as a 12-year-old is one thing, more or less making sure you don't go down the lens or forget lines. But as an adult, it is very different. In LA, it was getting on the circuit. 3 auditions a day, different scripts, different accents and dialects, skills I hadn't put into practice, even though I was very experienced in other ways. Before I'd even said a word, I could often see what they were thinking. Don't have him. He's the Potter kid. Harry Potter got me in the room, but often it was a huge disadvantage and I had to prove myself, which I am so grateful for now." So what happens when you're 22, living in Hollywood, and have a massive pay packet from the $5 billion movie franchise, in addition to having your confidence knocked from producers typecasting you to the role you've played for 10 years? You turn to alcohol and drugs, of course. Tom hit the LA nightclub scene and literally began partying his life away. He says, "It's easy to point a finger and say it must be the Hollywood lifestyle or it must be the drink. If you are in LA and you're surrounded by a lot of tinsely things, it's a little easier to get your head lost in the clouds. But the root cause was partly a genetic predisposition and a sense of feeling like something was not quite right with my life, which I think we all experience." However, Tom didn't open up to anyone about it due to the fact that, judging from a materialistic standpoint, he had it all. He says, "From the outside it was perfect. I had a dog, a nice car, and a house in LA. You trick yourself into thinking, well, these are the things I've been told make you happy, but they don't." Tom's life continued to spiral out of control, as did his alcohol and drug abuse, turning to the cocktail mixture of both in order to cope with not just the pressures of Hollywood, but the rejection of it. He made it out to everyone that he was okay and that there were no issues, but you could only hide for so long, and things began to take a toll on Felton to the point of it becoming pretty obvious what was going on. It was actually his lawyer who made the most sense to him. Tom said, "My lawyer, whom I barely ever met face to face, spoke with me quite honestly." Tom recalled, adding, "Tom," he said, "I don't know you very well, but you seem like a nice guy. All I want to tell you is that this is the 17th intervention I've been to in my career. 11 of them are now dead. Don't be the 12th. Tom admits it was only several years after that intervention when the numbness began to return, and that he was okay with saying that he was actually not okay. Opening up to his vulnerabilities helped him grow stronger in so many ways, and by checking himself into a mental health facility for the 3rd time, this one finally hit home. He says, "I can honestly say it was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. But the very fact that I was able to admit to myself that I needed some help, and I was going to do something about it, was an important moment. I am no longer shy of putting my hands up and saying, I'm not okay. I am not alone in having these feelings, just as we all experience physical ill health at some stage in our lives, so we all experience mental ill health too. There's no shame in that. It's not a sign of weakness." So guys, I hope today's video helps everyone realise that the characters that not just Tom played in the Harry Potter movies, but the rest of the cast too, are real people and do have real problems like everyone else. I think from a personal standpoint, it's interesting to see how Tom was affected as he was moving on to the next chapter of his life, and it's also fantastic to see that he's overcome these obstacles and seems like a much better version of who he wants to be. Anyway guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to look out for the next one. It just might be a little bit better than this one.